Good morning. Welcome back to Coffee and Colorful Conversation. I hope everyone is having an amazing Wednesday. Today, I wanted to talk about the secrets that lie beneath in hair color. We have a guest sit in their chair and we know what to expect. Am I talking to myself, perhaps? It looks like my signal. Let me just double check. I hate when I have to do this. It's so annoying. But I'm using my third-party streaming app, and I don't want to talk to myself for 30 minutes. Type into the chat if you can see and hear me. That's super helpful for me. Tell me where you are, how you are. Say hey, hello. Okay, it looks like I'm there. It just looks like a really weak connection, which is not good. Let me see. Somebody type something. Amy, good morning. Thank you for letting me know that I'm not talking to myself. Okay, so what lies beneath? We have a guest sit in our chair and they're brand new. And for some reason, they feel like they don't want to give the full story. Maybe they did something themselves in between that they're embarrassed about. I know years ago when I was in high school, I would go to get a perm and my hair would be all jacked up. She'd be pulling the pieces up to wrap the perm and it would be real jaggedy. And she would say, did I do this to you last time? And really, I cut it in between, but I would say, I don't know, I guess. I didn't admit that I cut my own hair. And I think about that now as a hairstylist for 34 years. Why would I not just tell her, yes, I did? Like, why would I lie about something like that? It was so weird. So clients do the same thing. And it doesn't matter how old they are. It doesn't matter if they're 15 or 50. They don't like telling you the true total story. So right now, especially with what has happened with COVID, people are doing Madison Reed. People are doing the box color that have never done it before. Here I am with my ADD. I'm going to go down a rabbit hole I didn't plan to go down, Madison Reed. So during this pandemic, I had a lot of time on my hands and I am always a student. I always want to learn more. I don't know everything. I never claim to know everything, but I wanted to know about that business model. You know, what are they doing different from that box of Clairol Natural Instincts, of Feria, of a typical box that someone can get at Target or Walgreens? So I saw an advertisement on Facebook to attend a Madison Reed pajama party. And I was like, oh, pajama party, virtual, that's cool. That was a cool idea. So the premise of it was that they were going to have people from Madison Reed on there answering questions with women who were attempting to color their hair at home. So being the forever professional colorist and thinking, oh, this is going to be so cheesy. The color is going to be so bad. I can't wait to laugh at this. So I'm watching and it's engaging. It's informative. It's really good. So now I'm getting mad. I'm screaming from the living room. My husband's like, who are you yelling at? I'm like, I'm yelling at the phone. I was on my phone on a Zoom call. I'm like, they're doing a really good job. They're explaining to the client about overlap, about next time you want a level 7, we have this special other product that's going to help you segue into that new shade. I'm like, most professional colorists get in a jam when they want to go one level lighter and don't really know how to go about it in the softest, gentlest way. So then it gets better. The end of the call, the one person who is a licensed stylist, works for Madison Reed, is putting her retouch on for the people at the pajama party. So she's parting her hair and showing them how to do it. And she's showing the ingredients in the kit, how it has the gloves and the this and the that, and, you know, conditioner to keep it off the ends and all this stuff. So then she's putting it on, and someone asks a question about one of the people that was showing how to do it. And her color was beautiful. It was a neutral brown, and then it got lighter and warmer on the ends and was a very blended balayage look. So the woman who asked the question said, I really like your color. What number is that? And she said, oh, it's number this. And then I do our at-home balayage kit, and I lighten my ends a little bit while my reach. I'm like, they're teaching them how to do dimensional color. Guys, wake up. We have to be that much better behind our chair. We have to be special. We have to make that visit so much more special. If they can get multi-dimensional highlighted hair at home and done well, we need to wake up and know that they are not our captive audience anymore. I was not right for a couple of days. I was like, because this is what the woman said that really infuriated me. They include a glaze for the mids and ends for retouching. Separate formula, glaze, just like I teach, don't run that permanent color through unnecessarily. And she was explaining what it is. And she said, what that special liquid thing is in your kit is, how when you go to the hair salon and you're laying back in the sink and they put something on your hair and you kind of think it's just conditioner? Well, that is what's called a glaze. And your stylist has been getting away with this for years. I was like, getting away with it? We are giving them a gentle, conditioning, shiny, sheer color to refresh their ends so that we don't have to drag unnecessary alkalinity and ammonia over already colored hair. Getting away with it, I was furious. So just know that this excuse of, oh, boxed color sucks, it's horrible, it's going to melt your hair, it's too strong, let's do this. Not anymore, guys. That is all a myth. So we need to step up our game. So rabbit hole rant done. Let me come back. I feel like I'm looking like one of those movies where my lips aren't matching, but hopefully you can hear me anyway. So what I wanted to come on and share with you is when you don't have the full story. Hi, Michael. When you don't have the full story on that client's head, you only know what they're sharing with you. So one of the members in my Hair Color Secrets Insider membership reached out with me in distress a few weeks ago. She texted me and said, I have an issue. Can you help me? The client was in her chair at that moment. It was like, I think it was like a Friday night or something. I was like, I got you. What's going on? She started sending me pictures. I'm going to share those pictures with you right now. So this was the first picture that she sent me. I was like, oh boy, we are in trouble. What's going on? Green, and I automatically, as a colorist who has seen this happen before, said, oh, did she have vivids on her hair? Was she like a blue or purple vivid? And she said, I didn't think so. And I'm like, well, you didn't think so. How can you not think so? Like, it's either purple or it's not. This is where it gets a little complicated, which is interesting. So hold on. How do I? So this is who sat in her chair. So she sits in your chair. You're going to have a whole lot of thoughts and a whole lot of nerves, but not one of those things being, oh, I have to remove those purple vivids. I don't know about you, but I've seen her, this woman, a million times in my chair. And it's, oh, I'm just going to touch it up in between my hairdresser and put something on in the drugstore, which hence, what this band would be right here, this little orange patch right here. You have her natural little orange, little orange, some drab ashy pieces, a whole lot of everything in here, but nothing super complicated. I wouldn't be nervous about that. I'd be like, okay, I got you. I'm going to straighten everything out and make you all one color. Let's talk about where you want to go. Do you want to be closer to your natural? Do you want to stay light? Where do you want to go? I would not expect her to have purple vivids. So whatever the conversation was, I'm not really sure where they were going, but my member applied lightener. Let me look at what she did. She's all over. So she said, I lifted the hair with Flash Lift, 20 volume, and Olaplex. When I saw the green at about a level 8. So she was lightening it globally, which that would not have been my first choice. I am not a big proponent of global lightening, even in corrective situations. When I saw the green at about a level 8, we went to the sink because I wanted to get a closer look and start working on the situation, which is where I couldn't break through the green. So then I did a shade warm, I forget which, but can look it up when I go in tomorrow. It didn't do much. Then I called you. So when she called me, I said, okay, now that we see that there's green, what happens is when green like that, and we're talking like Dr. Seuss, Grinch green, it was not subtle. It wasn't like, oh, she has a little bit of chlorine. It was green. So let me go back to that photo. Sorry, I have to keep stopping sharing in between, which is annoying. Hold on. There's probably a better way to do this, but I have not figured it out yet. So this was the initial shock of her life when she started rinsing the lightener. Everything was green and very green. So what happens with vivids is they are direct dye. So a direct dye, you have to picture it to be like a stain on the hair. It's not oxidative where the hair has been shifted and altered to turn into a color. It is a color applied and stained on the hair, and it wants to stay. Like you know how it goes. When you want a vivid to stay, it's gone in 3 shampoos. When you're in this situation and you have green on your hands, it won't go away. So it's the irony of it all. So I said to her, believe it or not, I saw this situation come up on another forum. It was Shannon Keel was doing somebody and she could not get pink out of the hair. At first it was like really vibrant fuchsia, then she got it to pale pink, and then she could not get the pink to budge. So what our immediate response when we're like sweating, oh shit, what do I do, is bleach takes care of everything. Let me just keep bleaching it. So even this member kept putting more bleach. And there's the theory going around, which according to chemists that I've asked is not true. They say, oh, bleach pushes it further into the hair. It doesn't necessarily push it further into the hair, but it also doesn't necessarily do the job of removing it. So my go-to for these situations, first, I will go to the Ask Mags group on Facebook. If you're not familiar with it, you need to get familiar with it. Go there and follow the Ask Mags page. She is a chemist, so she really understands what happens in color, splat removal, chlorine removal, vivid removal, henna removal, all those complicated corrective situations. I, as a color educator, go to that page and I don't type in, Mags, can you help me? Because she's heard it a million times. You go to the search bar on the page and you type in splat removal. You type in green vivid removal. You type in, henna, coloring over henna, whatever the topic is. And there will be 50 instances where someone has already asked that question. So that's my first go-to. If I don't find what I need there and it has to do with corrective work, the next place I go is to, and I'm going to share this with you. This is my girl for all things Malibu Sea. I just started getting really experienced in using Malibu. I used to not feel confident teaching it because I didn't use it all that much. Can you see that on your screen? Hopefully. It should have a Instagram page of Amy. I can't see my chat, so if you guys are trying to help me to tell me it's there, then I can't see it. Nervous about that. I'd be like, okay, good, you can see it. So this is Amy Spencer. She is with Malibu C, and she takes the time to show you, like if you just binge her page one day, just keep going down and looking, she'll show you, you know, like this post right here is, how did I get from this splat to that? No lightener, no color, no developer. So she's going to show you the inside tip on how do I get splat out of the hair. And she simplifies it so much, and she keeps the hair healthy. And that's the key. I had her as a guest in the Hair Color Secrets Insider membership, and it was gold. She went through each scenario, when to use which thing. It's Amy Spencer Hair, Amy Spencer Hair. Follow her on Instagram. She is a wealth of knowledge on all things Corrective as well as mags. One of the things that I just purchased for the first time is Malibu Deox. So I've been to so many classes, so many different educators, and a lot of them will teach, you know, when you're in the process of doing that procedure and the lightener has been sitting on and you're nervous and you want to take it off, you'll see it on people's Instagram. They pull the foils and they'll run their fingers through the hair and they're like, oh, look at that lightening. And I'm just going to let it sit outside the foils for a little bit. So when you want to stop that action of the lightener, our knee-jerk reaction is grab the water bottle, grab a towel, squirt water on it, wipe it off, and then keep going. But what I learned recently is, because I'm not a chemist, it's water is H2O and developer is H2O2. So it's only one molecule away from developer, which would keep the action going. So I didn't know that. And I am not embarrassed to tell you that, because that's why I teach and that's why I do what I do. I'm 34 years in and I'm just finding that out, that water is not doing us any favors stopping the action of the lightener. It's not going to stop with water. So Deox is a fairly new Malibu C product. And what they're recommending, Amy recommended in our class, is putting this in an applicator bottle and having it at your sink. So if you need to stop the action, say you're doing like a ginormous Nefertiti style head with 400,000 foils, which I also don't recommend. You need to check out my Fast and Fearless foiling. I do not recommend 400,000 foils. But if you choose to do that, you're going to get in trouble, because these where you start underneath are going to be done before these and these and these. So if you have that next to your sink, if you take them over to the sink, pull the foils, rinse the hair really well, and apply this Deox. I have not used it yet, but it's supposed to be a thinner viscosity than the Malibu Crystal Gel. It's a little more loose. So you can put it through the hair, work it through, twist the hair up in a clip, and then keep going with your correction, and you know that the action has been stopped. So love this. And then I just saw on the forum, people are saying they mix up a batch in the morning. They use it all day long. And if there's any left at the end of the day, you can put it in the refrigerator and it's good for up to 2 weeks. So that's incredible that you don't have to use one pack for every single client. We have to tighten up our pricing. We have to tighten up our product costs. COVID has put a dent on all of us. And don't get twisted, guys. The manufacturers, they hurt just as much as we did. They had to halt production of a lot of, did you notice that when you go to Salon Centric or Cosmoprof or wherever you go to buy your color, that they're out of everything? Because they didn't know how long this was going to continue, and they stopped production of a lot of colors that maybe aren't as popular, but they may be your go-to. So we have to have everything that we need in our arsenal. I can't tell you how many of my members will reach out exactly like this green situation and say, oh my gosh, I need help. Like with this situation with the green hair, I said, now you need, coming back full circle, the ADD is on fire today. I am down so many rabbit holes. So she had the green was still there. And I said to her, I told her the story about Shannon. And I said, what ended up happening was you need to naturalize the pigment that's there. Notice I said naturalize, not neutralize. So you have to go across the wheel, and you need to turn that crazy color into a normal color that can then be addressed as hair color. I'm talking fast and it's confusing, but because it's a stain, there's no amount of lightener or anything else that's going to pull that green out. So you have to turn the green into like a color that would normally be removed in a hair color correction. Like either, or like for the Vivid, for the Shannon situation, she had to turn that pink into orange so that the orange could then be dealt with. So Dennis had her use a yellow Vivid on top of the pink. So the yellow Vivid was, when you look at a color wheel, across from yellow is purple. So I'm sorry, across from pink is yellow, but a very faded yellow. So she had to go across the wheel to naturalize that color to then remove it. So I instructed my member to go in with a pink Vivid. I would be in the same exact situation that she was in. I don't always carry Vivids because I don't do Vivids. It's just not my style. It's not my brand. So I would have one here and there for like my niece that wanted a crazy color. I would have one tube of it, but we have to be prepared for anything. So it's almost like you have to stock, you know, all those colors on the color wheel in a Vivid for corrective situation surprises like this one, where it's like, where the heck did that come from? So she needed pink. So first she went in with the pure pink Vivid in its brightest form. And this is where it gets tricky. You have to be on the same level of the color you're trying to get rid of in that Vivid. So her pink was too deep of a level pink to just naturalize the green. The pink actually wanted to show up. So she's like, well, now I have pink hair. And I was like, oh, well, you need to cut it with some clear or some conditioner because you want it to be the same level of lightness and darkness of that offending color. So the green, as you saw, was like it was getting pastel-y and like mint green. So she needed more of a pale pink. So once she got it right with the pale pink, everything turned out. I'll show you the after. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so ADD. I actually just be on the lookout for a podcast. She's not going to be up for like another 4 weeks. So that's the after. So she made her beautiful and normal after all was said and done, but she needed pink. And you would never think to use pink. So corrective color, especially when it's a surprise, can be pretty stressful, but all turned out well. There's the after. Client was happy. Everybody can now sleep. Let me stop that. I'm on a little bit of a delay there. Sorry about that. So yeah, most people, when they reach out to me, I'll say, okay, do you have like one of my go-to, you saw me talk about it last week, one of my ride or die colors that like never lets me down is Redken Shades EQ 9AA, and it's orange. It's Auburn. It's not ash, which you would think that it would be. So I said, you need 9AA. And the member said, well, I don't have it. I'm like, guys, I get that you want to be self-employed. I get that you're like, woohoo, I can turn the music on that I like. I can do the air conditioning at the temperature that I like. I don't have to answer to anybody, but you have to have color in your suite. If you're a solo suite, I see so many people on forums saying, you know, my client's coming tomorrow and I have to look and see what I have. I have to go to the store. If you go to the store and they're out of right now during COVID, if they happen to be out of that product, that 9AA, there are certain things that you cannot make. You know, people say, oh, I only get 2, 4, 6, and 8 of every shade. And then I end up making the in-between colors. So I'll take, you know, a 6 and a 4 and I'll make a 5. I'll take a 5 and a 3 and I'll make a 4. That's okay in an absolute emergency, but what you're not realizing is the level of pigment in each level of color is different. The amount of deposit in a level 3 is much higher than the amount of deposit at a level 5. So if you're mixing a 5 and a 3 together to make a 4, it's not an exact science. It's close, but it's not exact. So if you have a client who has a really beautiful brunette with no banding and it's gorgeous, and you're like, oh, I'm just going to be, Mr. Scientist, and I'm just going to create this shade because I didn't go to the store and I ran out, you're going to see a difference and you're going to get a slight band. If you're okay with that, rock on with your band self. But I just am in absolute awe of how many times I've said to somebody, you need XYZ, and they're like, I don't have it. And it's not because I'm saying my brand that I use. I don't work for a brand. I'm not affiliated. I don't get paid by any brands. I just will say, oh, I had that happen before and I use this and it worked great. So have the tools, guys, that you need, and have the knowledge and understanding. And when you're not sure, get help. Like, I was so happy that she reached out to me, because what happens is we get completely hijacked in the middle of a situation like this, and we just keep making bad worse. We get nervous because I told her to do the pink, and then I wasn't paying attention to my phone and I was watching television. It was like a Friday night, and she texted me and said, okay, I'm going to put the pink on, and then I'm going to put bleach over top of it. I'm just going to smush it with my hands. And I was like, no, don't put bleach on again. Just let the pink do its thing. And she was like, oops, too late. So let me go back and see what transpired. Somebody asked, like, oh, you just put the pink and that was it. So she said, I used the pink Vivid I had, which made it pink and muted green. So it turned it a little bit pink and then muted the green in other spots. And then she said, then I did a soap cap with 10 volume conditioner and baking soda in between, gently working it through. The green got lighter. Then I took the pink, diluted it slightly with conditioner, and did it again without bleach. So there was a process of, oops, I panicked and put bleach on it again. Then I put baking soda. Baking soda, that's a whole other conversation. It will lift. If you overtone somebody and you don't have quick fix for Malibu, and you're like, oh crap, you're at the sink, and you're like, I know she's going to freak out. I took away all her blonde. A little bit of baking soda in a paste with some cheap shampoo it. It will push off a little bit of that overtone, but you have to remember what is happening, why that was able to happen, like the chemical reaction of what's going to happen. It's going to make that hair super porous. So you have to be careful. You can't just throw baking soda on in a pinch every single time you need it. There's a place and time for it. It's not the ideal thing. Using the Malibu products that are designed for that is much better. Then she said, I did 9BG, a blush, 50% clear, and worked through it watching it. And that's what made it that beautiful, normal blonde when all was said and done. Remember, somebody asked about it being about the blonde. She had already globally lightened everything. So the blonde was underneath. It just had that green tint to it. So we're always going to have surprises. That's part of doing corrective hair color. But again, if you have the tools and you just stop and take a minute to collect your thoughts, walk away from the client, go get on your phone and go on Ask Mags or Amy's site, or DM Amy or DM me, or reach out to somebody and say, I'm in trouble. I need help. Don't keep pretending to understand what you need to do next, because you make bad worse. And then it's like, oh, I'm not going to charge her, because that's the next thing that I see is people say, well, I'm not going to charge her because I feel bad because I made that happen. You didn't make that happen. She didn't tell you that she had Vivids underneath there. Women, men too, they lie too. Women with really long hair will say, oh, I haven't colored my hair. It's all natural. I haven't colored it in a year. Well, this hair in a year only makes it to like maybe here. So from here all the way down is colored, honey. It's still there. You are not a virgin. It's like saying, oh, I'm not going to go there. I was just going to be dirty. I can't do that anymore. I have to be professional. But your virginity in every situation. When it's gone, it's gone. Let's just put it that way. So it doesn't, you don't grow back anything with your hair or that. So we get surprises, this might start to lighten beautifully because it really is brand new virgin hair. It hasn't been touched by any kind of chemical, but from here down has the sins of the past. So it will show up when you go to do something, whether she tells you it's there or not. So something that we are all guilty of is foregoing a strand test, foregoing a patch test. We think, myself included, it's like, oh, if I do a strand test and I've been doing this for 30 years, she's immediately not going to trust me because she's going to think I don't know what I'm doing. It's the total opposite. Sonia Dove, we did a class with Sonia Dove in the membership, and the first thing she talked about was that she does strand tests on almost every single head. When you see her up on stage and she has that fog billowing and she has these beautiful models, she strand tested them before she did those fabulous colors on them because they're models. They come to her. They've been models at a million other hair shows. You can imagine what lies beneath all of that pretty exterior. There's a lot of history going on. So what we don't realize is that this hair down here, this has been around a really long time. So while it looks pale and blonde, if you really took the DNA and the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, if you followed this piece of hair around, you would realize how many different things at some point were done to that piece of hair. It's still in there. So do your strand tests. Patch testing is a big topic right now. I coach someone in Scotland, and in Europe right now, there's like some new rule with patch testing with people coming back from after COVID. They're saying that when people are getting the COVID shot, that if they were never allergic before, they could behave differently post-shot, post maybe having COVID. So now they're saying, in Europe, like you have to have proof that you did a patch test 24 hours before the color. So they're scrambling over in Europe, talking about like, where are they going to put that information? Where are they going to store it? Are they going to put it in their salon software? Are they going to have a binder with, photos of patch tests? Like, what does that look like? So it's not over, guys. We're still in COVID hell, having all these surprises and things that we now have to do differently. So that was a lot today. I feel like that was an exorcism. It's already 10:30. I try to keep these to a half hour so I don't keep you too long. But today was just an example of all the little things that you may not have popped up in your chair that you need to be prepared for. So I am a brand-free color educator. I also have so many friends who are passionate, amazing color educators. So I reached out to 3 of them and asked them to do a totally free day jam of let's talk about fearless formulation. Let's talk about like the things nobody talks about that you are going to come across. And we all have completely different styles of education. You come here and watch me on my coffee chat. I like to talk a lot and I like to share different situations. I'm not a big demo person. I'm not a big like, oh, look at how you do this because you know how to do that. I'm not a big like what Amy did where she takes swatches and says, look, this is what happens. But I don't do a lot of that. Julie does. So Julie Klein, her handle on Instagram is Colors with Chemistry. We go way back to our Periscope days. Julie reached out to me because she was new in the industry and she came in at an older age, which she's so passionate and so hungry because she's like, I don't have a lot of time to waste. I have to learn. So she was struggling with foiling and she reached out and she said, I'm about to give up on hair. I'm about to just go back to doing, I think she worked at a salon at the desk. She's like, I'm about to go back to just managing the salon. I was like, no. I'm going to do a class for you. So I propped up my phone. I grabbed a doll head. She grabbed a doll head. And this was God, it had to be 10 years ago if it was Periscope, way before we could do Zooms and virtual, all this stuff. So I was like, I'm just going to show you on the phone. We did FaceTime and I did a doll, and I was like, look, this is how you want to foil, and this prevents it from bleeding and everything. And she reached out years later and said, I will never forget you making that video for me. Like, you took the time to actually make a video just for me. So now, fast forward, she's this amazing color educator, and she gets into the nerding out of the science of why is the lift in not just the developer, it's the developer and the tube, and why use 40 volume in this case, don't use it in that case. She's super, super informative, an amazing teacher. She makes it so easy to understand. She's teaching on this free pop-up. It is Monday. I think that's the 29th. Monday the 29th is free. You have to opt in so that you can get the link to watch it, as well as a link for the replay. So some people are saying, I work on Mondays, I got to pick up my kids, I have this, I have that. No worries. As long as you sign up and we have your email, you will get full access to the replay. This is going to be a full day, equivalent to one of the days of Revival in the quality of education, and it is totally free. So Julie is doing it. I am doing it. Color Christina Russell is a redhead and blonding specialist. She does hair painting on reds that will blow you away. She specializes in those coppers, natural looking reds. She is my go-to when I have red issues. She's my girl. So Christina is in Australia, so it's going to be very early in the morning for her, but she's going to be with us at the end of the day on Monday. And last but not least is the beautiful Justina. If you've come to any of my free pop-ups or have been in my membership, Hair Color Secrets Insider members, Justina has been with us in the Insiders. She is a rock star with double process blonding, and she always comes up with these products that none of us have ever heard of that are her go-to for certain situations in blonding. So she is also absolutely amazing, and she's so excited to be joining us because she's still on lockdown. So she hasn't done hair, and she's like, oh my gosh, I need a model. I'm like, girlfriend, your little gorgeous face and you just talking about color is more than enough. If you have a model, great. If you don't, no worries. Like, she can talk about color. Both of us can talk about color for 8 hours straight. So it's an amazing lineup, totally free. If you haven't signed up, I'm going to share the link with you. That is the link to sign up. I'm going to also put it on a banner. You're not going to be able to click on the banner, but you can type that into your phone, write it down. It's basically my website, www.expertcolorsolutions.com/collective. It's a collective effort for passionate, brand-free educators sharing their love and knowledge for all things formulation. We are going to have so much fun. You're going to have so many things to take back. You're going to have instant changes in your work behind the chair just from this one day. Sorry, my voice is not awake. My ADD is wide awake. My voice, not awake at all. So I really hope that you will join us. We're going to have so much fun. It starts at 1 p.m. Eastern. I had to get a little tricky with the times because we have Justina is in Ireland, Christina is in Australia, I'm on the East Coast, Julie's on the East Coast, and we have other people on the West Coast. We have people in England. We have people all over, which is amazing. I'm so excited about that. We already have over 400 people signed up. So if you're not coming, it's not like we're going to be lonely, but why would you not come? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I hope that you will click that link and sign up and join us. And we're going to have a great time. And again, if you can't show up live, you can watch the replay as many times as you want. You can put it on TV when you go back to the salon, share it with your coworkers if they missed it. We just want to get that message out that formulation does not have to be so scary. It can be so much simpler than it's been made out to be. So see you all then. And so yeah, I'll see you there before I'll see you on next week's coffee chat. So everyone have an amazing week. I hope you have a healthy and successful week behind the chair, and I will see you all on Monday. Thanks for watching.